Warning. Listening to this show may result in increased levels of inspiration, motivation, and innovation. Side effects can include the immediate urge to take massive action to build a better business and life for yourself and others. You've been warned. Welcome to Influencers Radio with your host, Jack Mize.
And welcome back to Influencers Radio. Today, I have a great show because we're going to be talking about what I guess the best way to term this, to call this, is the other side of success. And what do I mean by that? Well, most people, when they're thinking about building their business, when they're thinking about success, they think about it strictly in financial. It's a financial scorecard, to double my income, triple my income. And one of the things that is so common, extremely common, is that comes at a price, and not a financial price, but it comes at a price in the form of relationships. It comes at the price in the form of health, because we all know that person that is so driven for their financial, and people call it workaholic, but it's beyond that. They're driven to the point that they identify success with the dollar signs and financially, and it really do end up, it costs them so much more, because through divorces, through relationships with their kids, through just poor health because of the imbalance. And today, my guest is someone that has a very unique perspective on this, because helping businesses on the financial side, well, that's the easy part. In fact, it's the part that he hesitates to take on clients to help them with that, unless they are in alignment with the other parts of what he does, because he's been through it so many times in ways that most of us would never have the opportunity to go through it. Today, my guest is Setema Gali. Setema, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on. Great to be here.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and I didn't go into the details, but right now I want to talk about the unique perspectives that you bring to this. Is, a lot of people when they coach or they help business owners, and you've helped folks from athletes, mortgage, real estate, doctors, all different types of businesses. They come to you, and a lot of people think I need help with my financing, my generating leads, building up my business, doubling, tripling my income, my revenue. And that's the part that you've got no problem, because you've done that many times. But the one thing that you really work with them on is to make sure that they're building in their ability to enjoy that side of it by not sacrificing and neglecting these other parts of their lives. Let's start off with this. NFL Super Bowl champ. That's not something that a lot of people can say, right? And most people, that's success. You hit it. That's the benchmark for success. What can go? How do you go down from there? But we all know that there's stories of that. And then you went from that to building empires in very different businesses, to realizing that there's a whole other side of success than just the financial part. So I want to start with your story on that. Super Bowl champion. That had to be an incredible high in your life.
It was a phenomenal experience. And to get to the Super Bowl in my rookie year, and then to win the Super Bowl, was a dream come true. I sat on the field, tears flowing down my face, heart filled with gratitude to God for the opportunity to be there. And a lot of my hardships and surgeries and injuries actually led me and allowed me to be at that point. So if there's one thing I can share, first of all, anything that, quote unquote, you're going through that you don't prefer, it becomes the stepping stone. It becomes the glue that allows you to stick all the bricks together, the mortar that allows you to step up. After the Super Bowl, I came home, back injury, and within a few short months, all the money I had made was gone. Didn't learn really how to manage my money. And so I sat at home thinking, okay, I've got a Super Bowl ring on one hand, I've got a college degree on the other hand, and I'm living in my mom's basement. Well, within a few short years, had built up a massive mortgage empire. Had built up, just money was not an issue, was driving the fancy cars, living in a big home. And even at that point, I recognized that there was more to it than the money. And people said, man, you're killing it. I'm like, I know, but there's something more. The fulfillment wasn't there. And the peace and the happiness and knowing that this was like actually my true calling or true purpose was not there. So I went on this journey from mortgage to real estate to development to hard money to lender. And at about this point in time, I'm living with my wife and dad. We got our little son who's probably 6 months old. And she says, hey, do you think we're going to lose everything to learn some lessons? And I realized then when she said that, I thought, well, I hope not. But if we do, it will be some incredible lessons to learn. And within just a matter of time, we had lost everything. Ended up selling my Super Bowl ring. Ended up selling everything. I was in a band, so music was a big part of my life. Sold all the keyboards, guitars, the furniture, the TV, the beds. We went from big, huge home to about a sixth of the size. It was depressing. And throughout the entire time as I'm going through this, I thought, okay, I've won a Super Bowl. I built up a mortgage empire, mortgage real estate empire. What is the purpose of life? What is this? And once again, in 2011, I went back and I joined a sales team and made a ton of money again. And literally the money became like, I'm a hustler. I'm a guy who's highly committed. And what I found was, even after making all the money once again, I knew that there was more to it. And by that, I meant making sure that my relationships rise with my income. So if my income's growing, I knew that I had the ability to help people, because with all the guys around me, their marriages were suffering. They were going through divorce. They were not faithful to their spouse. They literally, money became the sole purpose of everything. And I knew that that wasn't true for me, and that it may not be true for others. So another part was health and fitness. I knew that in order to level up your game financially, well, you didn't want it to come at the cost of your health, and all of a sudden you can't even take care of yourself or even produce in the way you used to produce. But finally is along with relationships and your physical body and your physical health, was the spirituality and purpose. And I knew that, well, what I had been seeking was to be fulfilled in my higher purpose, to know that I could make money, but at the same time, I'm making awesome money. I'm actually contributing and developing powerful, meaningful, deep relationships, as well as being super healthy. I call this becoming a 4-dimensional superhuman being who can collapse time and create real radical results. So it wasn't just about the money. It wasn't just about the Super Bowl ring, but it was really about helping people to live in their highest purpose. And that's where I'm at today, is being able to help people not just to make money, but to really create the other parts of their lives, which become, for a lot of people, that hinders them from making money. Or if they make money, that becomes the cost. Like, they lose everything at the cost of making money.
You know, that right there is just the incredible, fascinating part of this, because most people that the making money, they feel that is the benchmark for success. That's the goal. That's the top of the ladder. And you started out, I mean, Super Bowl champ with, making money in football and coming from that. So it sounds like you have the making the money down. It's being able to be fulfilled with what you were doing that was really what was missing. And a lot of people don't get the opportunity to feel that pain because they're so busy trying to climb the ladder on the financial side that sometimes they don't even understand that this other emptiness exists. So I want to make sure that we don't, that we don't miss this, that I really want to put a spotlight on this. You lost everything after you left football. So where you had to sell your Super Bowl ring, and you had nothing. And then to you, it seems easy. You went and got in the mortgage business, and because of your drive and what you do, you quickly became the top of the game in the mortgage business, right? When you talk about building an empire, you're talking about building a really substantial business that most people may spend years thinking that they have to develop, but you understand that the making money part is not the tough part. How long did it take you when you built that that mortgage empire to realize, well, here we go again. I've got the money, but something's missing?
Well, it was within about 18 months I had made a substantial amount of money, and as the money's flowing in, I would sit at my desk every day and think, dude, I know there's more to this than just collecting a big paycheck. Sure, I'm helping people buy homes, and sure, I'm helping people get a mortgage, and I've got tenants who are renting my properties. And yet it was within 12 to 18 months, I knew there's something more. And I literally walked away from my business because I said, well, great, money's easy. Let me go try to find out something else that would give me real passion and fulfillment. And I walked away. And at that time when I walked away, money still continued to pour in. And I was always looking, how do I feel fulfilled? How do I find growth and challenge and feel like I'm really getting everything that I want to get out of life and out of my profession? And what happened, again, mortgage industry collapses, the bubble bursts, and I find myself once again with very little in my account. And that's actually the time I finally had to sell my ring just to pay bills, put food on the table. Never forget yelling at my wife about overdoing the milk in the boys' cereal because I'm like, well, we don't have the money. We don't have enough money for the milk. Once again, for a third time, I go out and make money again, a lot of money, and I'm still searching. The money, I saw this pattern. Make great money. Money's great. It's awesome. And not fulfilled. Okay, let me try something else. Make great money, not fulfilled. And make great money, not fulfilled. And finally, I began this journey, which brings me today. I love helping highly committed people to have it all. So the money part becomes relatively simple. The money part becomes a byproduct of doing the other things. A big part of that, I tell a lot of my clients, when was the last time you took your spouse out on a date? And they're like, well, maybe once a month. And I'm like, you knock that off. From here on out, the non-negotiables, it's scheduled just like one of your important meetings. Date night with the kids. Exercise every single day, not negotiable. Meditation and spiritual study or scriptural study, not negotiable, every single day. And what happened is I began to live this in my life with my coaches and mentors. I found the piece that was missing, which was I could increase my income, at the same time increase the meaning and depth of my relationships, at the same time keep my body fit, functional, and flexible, and at the same time continue to be connected to my higher purpose and my spirituality. As I began to do these things, the income began to continue to rise. I felt great about what I was doing. I felt incredibly fulfilled, and I knew I was on the right path.
So the same.
And I realized that. Go ahead.
So there's the same drive that takes most people to that financial success. You've kind of forced yourself to have that same drive and make it just as important to have that same success with your relationships, that same success with your health. And I think what a lot of people don't, they think I don't have time for that. You know, I'd love to just spend more time, go out, with my spouse. I'd love to do more things with my kids, but I've got to keep the business on track, or I've got to keep my, my financial goals on track. And is it something that you found that by forcing yourself to create that balance, that there really wasn't a downside on the business part of it, that things didn't fall apart like people think they will, that from what I've seen and from talking to you and seeing the folks that work from you, their business actually improved when they spent time balancing out with these other things that you make them do?
Yeah, business actually increases. People think they've got to work. And I tell people, listen, why don't you take some time, take your spouse out on a date, hit the gym every day, do some meditation multiple times a day, and your business will take off. And every person within my clientele who's done this has seen it. They're happier. The messages that come across, whether through private message or Facebook or email, is always, I can't believe how awesome life is, getting up a little bit earlier, meditating, planning your day out, planning date nights, planning when to actually take your kids out, planning when you're going to meditate. It changes the game. From the top executive guys, CEOs, the owners of companies, these people begin to do the small and simple things such as, okay, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to actually take my, and I tell guys, look, once a week is probably not sufficient. You are so deficient in your, insufficient funds within your emotional account. Like, it's twice a week. And it's text messages every day. And it's flowers once a week. If we focus on a holistic approach of having it all, the business actually increases and it becomes more effortless. So you don't have to work more hours to make more money. You actually almost kind of work less hours and just get really sharp. There's no more erosion. So when you're working, you can be totally present working. You're not worried about your children. When you're actually with your spouse and your children, you're not worried about work because you already know when you were there, you were 100% present. And so as people begin to what we call leveling up other parts of their lives, and really becoming connected spiritually and connected with their relationships and really taking care of their body, or some people refer to it as a temple, they actually have more capacity to increase the income. And it's crazy. Everyone wants to go, well, let me just make money first. Maybe it doesn't work that way. You will lose your family. You will lose your health. You will actually have less power and capacity to behave and act if you don't take care of the other parts.
Now, is that a tough pill for folks to swallow sometimes when they come to work with you? Is they're ready to build up their business, and the first thing that you tell them is let's set your exercise schedule? It
is, because they always say, look, just tell me how to make money. Just tell me I get the exercise and meditation. Tell me how to make money, and I will tell them, look, brother, it's really simple. Listen to me, and you will make money. Don't listen to me, and you will die. Like, really simple. And I have people that will not follow protocol. They'll try to do it themselves. And then a month or two later, they're in the same spot they were when they started. Well, other people will actually accelerate and increase their results. So, yeah, it's always what we call the small and simple things that allow people to create massive breakthroughs and massive results.
Well, I think this is one of the reasons that, it's so uncommon, because the path that you take is so uncommon for most people. It goes against conventional logic in building a business. With the fact that you've, have been there and have, seen the sacrifices and seen that there really is this other side to success that needs to be paid attention to, is what really makes, I think, you remarkable and unique, is that the money, that's the easy part. To you, that's the part that I think a lot of people really take a second look at. Or it's really a fascinating to see that to you, that's where the confidence. Well, the money, that's the easy part. It's that making money is a mechanical exercise. It's you do this, and this, you're going to make the money. But I'm here to warn you that is going to be fleeting. It's going to go away. It's going to cost you in other parts of your life if we don't focus on this. And I think that's where a lot of people get surprised. And from the results that I've seen from your clients, it's a very good surprise when they realize that by focusing on these parts that they that they thought they were going to have to neglect, actually gets them closer to their financial goal that they set out to achieve by working with you. How can people find out more about this strategy, I don't even want to call it strategy, this lifestyle, this way that you set up a life in order to enjoy not just the financial success, but all the facets of success? How can they find out more about what you're up to with that?
Well, they can go to Run With The Rev, www.runwiththerev.com. It allows people to actually get some very powerful trainings on how they can begin to have it all immediately from where they're at. That would be the first thing I would recommend. You can also connect with me on Facebook. But those two, number one, runwiththerev.com. Rev is the revolution, or the Reverend is one of my brands, a nickname. I used to do radio back in 2006, and we always talked about this revolution of viewing your role in the world as a contributor, not just a taker, and viewing money as a tool to help more people and to truly live in abundance and choice versus scarcity and victimhood. And I've used that, and it came back to me as I came out of the scarcity place and began to live in my highest purpose. And so Rev, R-E-V, is short for the Reverend, so runwiththerev.com. And that allows people to go and partake and start to consuming this new way of living. And in the beginning, a lot of people will fight against it because they hold on to these deeply cherished beliefs that, no, it's either make money or, and I have someone that I've just picked up, and his whole thing was, he made a lot of money before, kind of lost his kids, and then he said, well, I'm going to go the opposite way. So what he does is he fishes, he makes his wife work, but he's grossly overweight. He's probably 150 pounds overweight, but he says, oh, my kids love me, and we're as happy as we can be. And I just challenged him. I said, listen, what if you needed to lose the weight? What if you actually needed to make money to be happy, to be rich, to have it all? And I challenge people. I said, look, whatever your definition of happy, that's great. Just have you consider a possibility that if you want to have it all, to really have a life that is you love, that is filled with passion and fulfillment and meaning and contribution, well, as a man, it requires you to fulfill and to provide. As a man, that means you actually lead your home and lead your spouse and your children, and you don't end up like the guy who takes his kids to college, and they look at the dad and they're like, who are you? I don't even know you. In tears, like, what happened? All I did was provide. And oftentimes our children just want our time. So it's the ability to get trained and to see this new awakening, to get out of bondage and slavery, to become liberated. And you can find that at runwiththerev.com. All
right. We're going to put that right there on the show post, runwiththerev.com. And I'm going to tell you, I would encourage anyone to go and check out, your videos, check out what you're doing out there, because, what the content that you put out there it's infectious, and you can see your passion behind that. And you really start to get why this works and why this other side of success is so, so important to pay attention to. So, I really want to thank you for coming on to Influencers Radio today. I think what you're doing truly does make you an influencer to, help not only your clients, but also affecting the lives of their clients and their family, because it affects their relationships and their health. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, there you have it. Go check it out. Runwiththerev.com. You won't be sorry. Until next time on Influencers Radio, remember, you are the only real game changer.
You've been listening to Influencers Radio. To get all past shows and updates on future shows, visit influencersradio.com today or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/influencersradio.